Hello, you are coach. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Poker's Corner, biggest gob in sport, and welcome back to part 2. We're joined by Andy in his man cave. Hey,
How you getting on?
old Andy.
All good.
You've become a bit of a regular, aren't you, on Poker's Corner this last couple of years, aren't you?
Part of the commission.
Part of the commission. Max nearly got in commission, you know, but he balls it up.
He balls it up.
Poor Max. I've got a soft spot for Max. He's loyal. I like loyalty in people. Do you?
Oh, aye. It's honesty and integrity and respect's probably some of the most important things to me. Yeah, people telling the truth. Can't be doing with lies and BS. It's just makes a smell.
Yeah. What do you think to that Trump carry on over there? Because they're saying he's going to win the election, aren't they?
Aye, well, I think he's.
Eh?
He never started any wars. That's one thing about him. He's when you look at Biden, man, what's he playing at? Where he's away with it, isn't he? He's no. He should need to remove him. He's past his sell by date. But there, he's a warmonger anyway. There's a lot of controversy surrounding him, various angles, isn't there?
Does he even know what's going on in Biden?
Is it really him that's running the show, or is he just the front man? He's turning around and shaking hands with people that aren't there and needing guided it. You know, it's just a disaster.
Shaking hands with people who aren't there.
Seen him on the stage, and he turns round and he's right his way to shake hands, and there's nobody there. Maybe he's seeing things. Maybe he's hallucinating or something. But he needs removed. If that's the best two they can come up with in the whole of America, it's a bit of a sad show, isn't it? But it's sort of fixed. It's like the politics in this country. It's a shit show, really. Yeah. It's look what they've done to the country the past 15 years. I mean, we're at food banks. You ever hear of that? 15 years ago or whatever. The country's full of food banks now, and that's David Cameron and his big society and all that nonsense. And all that austerity. It's ruined the country the past 4. We're supposed to be was it 5th or 6th biggest economy in the world? Terrible.
How come we've got people at food banks, but yet people who come into the country, there's an issue with the visa, they're putting them up in hotels and that, aren't they, till they sort it out?
Yeah,
How can that be?
The whole thing's a mess. I tell you who's doing a good job. It's Carol Vorderman. She's calling out all the corruption and that. She's investigating it all. So good on her.
Carol Vorderman's like a Miss Marple type.
Ah, yeah.
Her brain cells are, I don't even know if she's got any.
I think she's got more brains than the whole government put together,
Brainy like. Oh yeah, that's her off Countdown, isn't it?
But she's calling all this corruption out. I mean, she's worked with both Labour and Tory governments, like doing stuff for kids in schools, like maths and helping out with advice and that. But she says the whole thing's a cesspit. They need to shut down Westminster and turn it into a museum or do whatever you want with it. Build a new parliament somewhere further north, like Manchester or Birmingham. And then have a travel lodge there's your accommodation for all the MPs, all the second houses and nonsense, and all the expenses they get. It's disgusting, eh?
You don't mind
travel
that?
lodge.
Go on, sorry.
Travel lodge and a little chef. There's your food and there's your accommodation. That's all you need. You don't need anything fancy.
You know, my grandma said, she says years ago, she says, if your granddad were here now and he had his Cavalier, I'd get him to run over that Diane Abbott.
You don't like her?
I'm not saying people should do that, but that's something I know. She got frustrated with Diane Abbott being asked a question in House of Commons, but she weren't giving this woman that were out, because it's like a woman, you stand up, don't you? It's like them green seats, isn't it? One stands up and asks a question to somebody and blah, 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 and that Diane Abbott wasn't giving the answer. You know, and this other woman was saying, look, just answer yes or no, but she kept doing this like speech, taking her down other avenues.
Just killing, running the clock down, eh?
Well, that's what they do, don't they? They only give them so long, don't they? And it
I mean,
frustrated me, Nana. But
I mean, politics up here is polar opposite to politics in London because people vote for more socialist stuff up here, whereas down south it's more, what do you call it? I forget the word. Uh, Capitalist, maybe kind of stuff,
yeah,
eh? But there's a polar opposite up here. I mean, I don't think Scotland's voted for a Tory government in something like 70 years, over 70 years now. That's just the way it is. There is a number of Tories up here, but my granddad, when he worked in, he survived World War One. He fought through World War One. Him and his brother. I remember my dad telling me when he worked on an estate or in the wood or something when he came back. But the land, like the guys that owned the estate, the posh people, we used to drive them to the polling station and say to them, you know what to vote for. I would try to tell them to vote Tory, but he always voted Labour. He was a Labour man, my granddad. So, but I mean, up here, I've gone to. Remember, I told you I went to a debate night thing. It's a bit like Question Time, but on Scottish TV. And there was a Labour guy there, and I says to him, he would actually be more successful up here if they broke away at that time. If they broke away from UK Labour or whatever, and probably backed an independence thing, they would probably get more votes. And he's sitting there shaking his head, nodding his head, like agreeing with me. And I spoke to him after. He goes, "Oh, you put me in an awkward position there." I'm like, "Well, again, you need to do the right, vote for what you believe in and whatever." And I backed independence, but I'm not in no way, shape, or form anti-English or anti-Welsh or anti-Irish, and I love all four nations the same. But it's just the way it's governed. I think we're always going to be outnumbered in a numbers game. So personally, I feel if the UK is going to go forward as a union, which people will vote for, I think when it comes to voting for UK issues, it should be done on a percentage basis. You know, like the percentage of people up here that's voted for whatever, and same in all four nations. That's the only way it can be fair in a numbers way, in my opinion. But it's not for me to tell people how to vote or make their own mind. That's up to individuals to do their own thing. But I know with I went to a few debates to do with Brexit, public debates, and there's people there with a lot more knowledge than me about things. But there's a guy there who was a Tory MP up here, and he'd been appointed as a permanent secretary, I think it was, in the government. And there was a guy there asked him, how does he feel being able to represent his constituents anymore? Because whatever way he voted, he had to vote with the party line. He wasn't allowed to vote like the way his constituents would like him to vote. And I think that's disgusting. You know how they have the party whip or whatever, but nah, they should be voting for their constituents. That's who's elected them. So instead of us going with the party line, it's a mess. It's just a mess.
do you vote, Andy?
I do, but
Yeah.
I think if after what's going on in the past 15 years, I think if the Tories get in again, I've lost all faith in democracy. I would see it as being I think if Jeremy Corbyn he's got his faults, but if he'd got in, him and John McDonnell at the time, they had a costed manifesto, which was independently analysed and costed. And everybody, they voted for Johnson, who's the biggest liar out there. People, I just couldn't believe it. People voting for him on a pack of lies when he's a known liar. He's been sacked from a newspaper for lying, so how bad's that? He was sacked from the shadow cabinet by Michael Howard when he was leader of the Tory party. Yeah, if people still believed all his not just lies, it's just I just hate it. I just hate lies. It's wrong.
Yeah. I don't know if Rico votes, but Rico's done national service, Rico.
Is that Finland he's from?
Yeah, yeah. You should bring that
National.
back over here, I think.
That wouldn't do any harm, would it? And I think it would discipline a lot of younger people. I think. I mean, my son's in the army. He went in voluntarily. That's all he ever wanted to do. But maybe know what I wanted him to do, but it's not up to me. It's up to him to make his own mind up about things. But he's seen the world, eh? He's seen a lot of the world.
Keeps him fit and that.
Oh, aye.
Kept him fit.
Yeah, good discipline in that. So, aye, he likes it, so that's good for him.
Yeah.
As long as he's happy and healthy, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, this cruiserweight, this J.L. Pataya, is on everybody's lips at the moment, isn't he? Do you think he'll reign at cruiser, or do you think he'll move up?
He might try and emulate Usyk. He might try and win all the belts at Cruiser before he moves up,
Yeah, that's what I was.
unless politics prevent him from getting fights that he wants. I feel sorry for Usyk, all this hanging about. It's just the last piece of the jigsaw, in it, for him.
Do you think if Usyk loses, he'll bow out gracefully?
Um, he might, yeah. He'll probably take the rematch, I would think.
There's too much money in the for all of them hanging around the fighters, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. They'll encourage him to keep going, probably. Yeah, but
It's a strange time at the moment for boxing, really, Terry. Andy, do you think?
it is. There's a lot of unexpected stuff happened this past year with all the Saudi stuff going on and that. Which I think, like we said before, it's good for the people watching at home. But if you actually want to go and watch a fight live, it's not so good, is it?
Do you think we'll have any more from the boxing industry turning into a woman like Frank Maloney did?
You never know. Stranger things have happened.
It's uh, it's a strange subject. What do you think to Peter Fury going to be having his podcast started this week? I think.
I did see. I've watched half a video with him. He's in a big building there, a fancy building. Uh, I must have been introducing what he's going to be doing. I think it was. That looked quite interesting. That I like Peter Fury. Yeah, he's a straight talker.
Yeah, it'll be good to see what's said on his pod. It looks like Big JF and Big Joey. It looks like it's died a death that on it now, do you think?
I don't think you'll ever see him fighting. I don't. I don't think so.
No.
You'll see him. You'll see him rooting and tooting and shouting about it, fighting, but maybe not for a wee while. But then when he does, it's just hot air at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a strange one. Do you know that Moses a toe, mate? What do you see happening with him? Do you think they're just going to take the time with him now?
Bricktop's quite good at bringing folk along, isn't he? So he'll. I don't think he'll take any stupid risks just for a wee while. Maybe if what's he had 8 or 9 fights now, is he? Oh, he's
Uh,
10. Or is it 10 fights he's had?
I don't know if it's that many. I don't think he's had that many, to be honest. It might be 7 or 8 or something. I'm not exactly sure.
I think he's had 8 anyway, but I think he'll maybe have another 8 before you see Bricktop moving them up a bit.
Well, is it going to be another one of them that's padded the record out and then got found out? We're going to see, aren't we?
Time will tell. You keep seeing people saying good things about him, eh?
Yeah, there's a lot of people speak very highly of him. And Francis Warren, obviously Bricktop's lad. I think he's the oldest lad out of them, I think. Not sure.
Bricktop Junior.
Bricktop Junior, he's managing him, and apparently they get on like an house on fire, and Moses trusts him, and vice versa, and that's good, isn't it? That's what you want, isn't it? So let's hope that he can do the business. But all this about him beating Mike Tyson's record, that's gone now.
He's how old is he? 18 or 19?
I think he might be about 19, coming up 20. I don't think he's going to beat that record. Now, Dubai were going to beat it a few years back, if you remember. Only didn't, did he?
Yeah. They should forget about all that stuff. Boxing isn't fights don't come about as quick as they used to, do they? Like
No,
back in
everybody's different as well, aren't they? We're all different.
yeah, and trying to break a record like that, which is quite a unique record, you could just ruin him, eh? You could do another David Price and put him in with Tony Thompson, then just time it wrong, and then that could be him ruined, eh?
Yeah,
And
I think so. I think
I'd be
so.
it'll be another what could have been story if that happens. They better just let him take his time, and if he's 22, 23, 24, gets a title shot, that's soon enough. Oh, he was 22, wasn't
Yeah. I was talking to Richard earlier on about PEDs and I asked him what he thought about it. Because I said that if I had my way, there were a few rules in boxing. Let me just sit up here a sec. There's a few rules in boxing. I just wondered what you thought about pay-per-view. Well, I said to Richard, I just think that it should be just for unification. You know, fights where you say you can't miss this, we can't miss this one.
he? Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Instead of just, plucking like some old name from past against some young lion and selling it as old lion against young lion, all that rubbish.
Am
You
I
know,
right in saying Dillian White fight was a pay-per-view when he
against
fought
Joshua.
Rivas, was it? Oscar Rivas?
Yeah, and against Joshua at first time.
That will be. That's that. They should never have been pay-per-views. That's just wrong.
What do you think about that Frank Sanchez, Jared Anderson? What do you think about them?
I feel they're not getting the opportunities they should be getting.
There.
Mm. I think I'd like to see them invited over to Saudi to get involved in the mix.
Well, remains to be seen, doesn't it? But you could put Macaulay in mixed there as a bogeyman as well, couldn't you?
He's a dangerous man. If he gets a bit of weight off, he could be even better.
Yeah, but we're always going to say that about tubby fellas. Sometimes they need it as armory, don't they?
Yeah.
Bellew weren't exactly shredded, were he?
No. Tony Tubbs way back in the day, he was.
Larry Holmes weren't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah, he was no ripper, that is he? You don't have to be as long as you can fight, eh? If you can fight, you can fight.
yeah.
What
Uh,
good, what good memories have you got with Big Ron? That's what I was going to ask you. You got
big,
fond memories working with Big Ron?
yeah, I have in a way. I have in a way because he more or less could see that I were enthusiastic, I suppose. And yeah, I suppose I have in a way. And eventually, he used to say things like, "Oh, they're not ready," or this and that. Pulling your leg. But eventually, you give me nod. You see, yeah, go on then, go put a world title fight on. Just do it how you think. I went through proper channels. As you know, it's a boring story. I've told it loads of times. And the Frankie Gavin fight got pulled, didn't it? Broke my heart. Otherwise, I'd be like Sam Jones now, jumping up in air, wouldn't I?
Arguing with the crowd.
But, hey, yeah, yeah,
Arguing with
yeah. But I've got good memories. No bad ones. We have had some fallouts. I'm highly strung, aren't I, mate? He knows that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I've got good memories. But it is what it is, isn't it? Good luck to Big Ronnie. But he's gonna need it, isn't he? With boxing, because everything I said to him 9 years ago has come true.
mm,
All them, he should have signed 9 years ago. He'd be plucking them now, wouldn't he? Like Buxton chickens.
yeah, be
Like
right there.
I'm gonna do when I get the guard in an headlock, like a Buxton chicken arcade. Pop,
Once
pop,
you hunt them down, eh?
hey,
Hunt them down. Find the guard.
find the guard. Gee, hey,
Be good to see Big Ron back on the channel, eh? Come on, Big Ron, get back on the channel.
Big Ron don't face me. Big Ron don't face me. He can't handle them shots from Big Pork.
He can't handle the truth.
What do you think to that? I was going to say Dick Whittington then. Ben Whitaker. What do you think to him?
He's all right, but he is skillful, but maybe maybe needs to calm the showboat and doing a bit. He's getting a bit carried away with that, maybe. But then people would have thought that about Nas back in the day, wouldn't they?
To be honest with you, Nas wasn't that popular up
No,
Sheffield. They all make out it's like, listen, they weren't popular. They behaved like a little goonie that he is. A little weirdo. Do you know what I mean? A little dick.
Remember when he went to Wales, he wasn't popular, eh? When he fought
Listen, he
Robinson.
rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way. That's why I don't live up there now. He rubbed a
Ah,
lot
is
of
he?
people up the wrong way, mate. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what money does to people. So, and do you know what I mean? And all Klingons that are around him, we all know who they are. All when he used to go out, Nas, he didn't even drink. The before Carlos all following him. This is boxing people, this. Most of them fighters. The other one is some of that Nas reflected glory. That was it. But he wasn't as popular as the McCart.
No. Muhammad Ali, he wasn't
He
popular
wasn't
to
my
start with.
favourite out of that gym anyway. He wasn't my favourite out of that gym. No, there were loads before him.
I'm saying Muhammad Ali, he wasn't popular when he first came to Britain, was he?
No, but
Everybody thought he was a big mouth, eh?
for
And
me, he wasn't my favourite out of that gym. I liked Johnny Nelson because he came to Lindo to spar, which I thought were cool. Ryan Rhodes, Kell Brook, I like them. Brian Anderson, Lynn Rhodes. Naz were never my favourite from up there. They're all right, like, but I thought a lot of it were fancy matchmaking, you see, because you could never really trust Bricktop. Can you know what he comes out with? There's just an angle, and some of them matchups were horrific.
yeah,
They put him in one, they were horrific. Kevin Kelly won, yeah, that were a life and death though, and he'd had 50 odd fights.
nah, he was past his best by that point, Kevin Kelly,
50
wasn't
odd fights, old man, life and death.
it? It
That'd
was
have
a
been
good fight,
today,
good
the
exciting
street,
fight.
hey?
It was a good exciting fight at the time, but like you say, he should have made short work of him, really.
Listen, do you know if that fight were today, they would have to have a fucking trilogy, wouldn't they, them two? They'd have to have a
Two
trilogy if that were today, or maybe four, like Pacquiao Marquez. Eddie Hills and Bricktop would have got 4 fights out that fight.
milked it dry.
I'm telling you now, mate, honestly, I'm telling
That's
you,
what's stagnating everything, isn't it? All these rematch clauses. That's just holding everything up, isn't it?
yeah, of course it does. Listen, do you know these rematch clauses? They should stop that, for these mandatory fights. Got to
Yeah.
stop these rematches. They can't just keep doing that. There's people in queues for belts. It's wrong. It's been going on for too long.
As people growing old in a queue, isn't it? It can be
You
past
are.
their best, but it could be people past their best by the time they even get a title shot.
Yeah, that's what's going on, mate.
I reckon Sonny Liston was like that, wasn't he? Because he was getting frozen out, wasn't he? Then Patterson had to fight him, didn't he? Liston
The
annihilated
mob
him.
got the mob got him there, got him in there,
Ah,
didn't
a sad story, though, yeah.
they? Yeah, it is a sad story that one we listened. But he
Yeah.
got involved with all wrong people, didn't
Yeah. Surrounded with the wrong people and then got just used, eh? Primo Canera as well. The mafia no got a hold of him and
he? Jake
he got
LaMotta, they got all of him, didn't they?
it's tragic, really, yeah. But that's what happens. And
Do you hear out from Jim Watt up your way?
Jim, I
Jim
haven't heard
Watt.
much of Jim Watt for a while. He was a decent commentator, Jim Watt as well. As a good fighter, wasn't
You're all right, weren't you?
he? Him and Reg Gutteridge.
They were better than what we've got now.
Yeah, I
Uh,
didn't mind Ian Dart and Glenn McCrory. They were decent back then, weren't they? I didn't mind them.
they were bang on in the day, them two.
Uh, Good double act, eh?
Bang on. Bang on, mate. Bang on. Do you think that do you think this Taylor Catterall fight, do you think it's gonna happen?
Uh, I think it probably will. There's a lot of noise about it, isn't it? A lot of noise around it, and it's apparently sold out really quick. But it can't. It's not really sold out quick on the merit of the the first fight because I don't think it was a very good fight. The first fight, it's just sold out on the hype in it and the
Think it'll
aggro.
take off then, Andy?
Think it'll. I'd like to see it be a good fight,
I
but
said, you think
uh,
it'll take off?
it'll take off.
Do you think it'll take off this fight and do well?
I think it probably will. Aye.
Do you think what like
Probably.
Bridgerweight?
Sorry.
What like Bridgerweight?
That's not really. That's not really got any legs yet, has it?
What happened to
But
Eddie Hills when he were coming out, going on about pushing Bridgerweight for WBC? Do you remember? How embarrassing was Hills?
he's a. He's. If the narrative suits at the time, he'll embrace it, won't he?
You what?
If the narrative suits at the time, he'll embrace it, won't he?
Embrace summer.
The narrative hugger. I think Sam Jones has done well selling that, regardless of the controversy about him.
To be fair, we give Sam Jones a bit of stick. He's been everybody's whipping boy for the last 3 or 4 days. But I'll say this for him. He's worked his ticket and he's basically sold it, hasn't he, really? Because Eddie didn't look like he were bothered. I think he was just looking to see if he could have somebody on books. And I think Sam Jones will end up going and working for Matchroom down the line, I think. As like an agent type guy. To save Frank Smith having to jet about, I think that's what they're grooming him for. That's what other
Yeah.
people I know in industry think as well. Eddie's not going to be around forever.
When Eddie steps out into rides off into sunset, Sam Jones will be Frank Smith's T-boy. That's what happened there.
D-boy. He'll be
He'll be the
something.
T-boy's T-boy.
He'll be something, mate. I know that. He'll be something. Are you watching football?
Yeah, I've never had time, I never really. My young lad watches a lot of football.
Did you ski catch Liverpool game other day?
I didn't know.
They beat Chelsea 1-0 for League Cup.
Oh, that's good. If I was to support an English team, it'd be Liverpool. That's who I used to support when I was at school.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Who was Souness and Kenny Dalglish and Alan Hansen and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the team at 70s and 80s.
is it Bob Paisley? Was he the manager?
Yeah, back in the day, Bob Paisley, 74 till 81.
So it'd be probably 80s, early 80s. I would have watched them. It was. I had my Panini book, sticker book, with all the Liverpool ones in it. There was a lot
Yeah.
of Scottish players then back then.
Oh, Bob Paisley, bless him. Yeah, I'm not sure if he was managed till 83. I think it might have been 83 and 81. I think
Yeah,
he was manager for 9 years, 14 trophies in 9 years.
good,
It's not
good
bad,
going,
is it?
good going.
Of
One of my
course,
pals,
yeah.
one of my pals at work, he's a big Liverpool fan. His wife's from Liverpool, so
Klopp's ended up with one trophy a year for 9 years. He's not done bad, has
yeah.
he? They've still got 3 more trophies to play for.
Oh, I did see something on Facebook. That's the first cup or something. That's my pal that put that up. First, I can't remember what he called the cup, man, but that's the first trophy. One down, three to go.
Carabao Cup or something. Carabao Cup.
Yeah. Our team up here is not doing that great at the moment. St Johnson, that's the team up here in Perth. So
How far's that from where you live?
that's where I live in Perth.
Yeah. Is it nice up there?
It's all right. It's all right. It's nicer if you drive into the country though, in the hills.
There's a lot of fields about and that.
It's quite a lot. It's quite it's not far, just about out in the country, So
Have you ever
nice.
walked it at sea from where you live?
Could I walk to the sea? Take me a long time, 25 miles to the sea, yeah.
Is it? Straight walk that, isn't it?
So I take the car most of the way.
12-hour walk that, isn't it?
Aye. Be dark by the time I got there.
It would, mate. I'm telling you now. It's a marathon, that, mate, isn't it?
Oh, aye.
It's a marathon. Right then, mate. Well, listen, I'm going to get off. But
Aye.
listen, thanks for coming on. Been nice to have you on.
I love coming on. I enjoy it.
All right then.
A bit of
Well,
crack, eh?
good crack. Well, listen, that's all. I'm glad that's all it is.
That's it.
Take care, Andy.
Take care, Ross. All the best,
Cheers,
pal.
mate. Bye.
Cheers. Good health.
For good health. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Booyaka.